23. I've got the Holdovers here. I saw it last Sunday. It expands nationwide this weekend. Made some more money at the box office. We'll get to that. Priscilla opened in theaters. Some big new movies on streaming. Some TV tonight with Treehouse of Horror. A lot to talk about. As always, send in your questions, your comments. I can read them right here on LCJ Live. Your number one movie in America, once again, is Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's added $19.4 million this weekend. That's a big drop from the $80 million last weekend, and it also had a huge debut on Peacock. But look, we're past Halloween now, so all this money is basically gravy. The movie cost $20 million to make. It's already made domestically $113.6. It's a huge hit for Universal, the fourth biggest movie for Universal of this year. It passed Megan to now claim that spot. Needs another $33 million to get to where Fast X is. I don't know if it's going to get there based on this weekend, but we'll see. Still, amazing. There's going to be a sequel. There's got to be. There's got to be a sequel to Five Nights at Freddy's. Probably out 2 years from now. Blumhouse Universal director Emma Tommy, who I met at New York Comic Con, they all have to be thrilled. Number one for 2 weekends in a row. Of course, this was going to be the weekend of Dune Part 2, but Warner Brothers pushed that to March. Warner still has 3 movies opening in a 10-day period at Christmas time in December. Wonka, December 15. Aquaman sequel, December 22. The Color Purple, December 25. Tickets for The Color Purple are already on sale, so Warner Brothers is definitely keeping that movie. I think they're keeping all 3 for the end of the year. But they did not want Dune Part 2 out there because of the actors' strike, which maybe gets resolved in the next day or 2. Fingers are crossed. Hopefully that happens. Hey, Taylor Swift fans, wow. You are still going to the movies. You are still going to see her in concert. Added another $13.5 million this weekend. Now, this was originally going to be the final weekend for Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour in theaters, but I'm already seeing showtimes online for next weekend. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. This movie should play through at least Thanksgiving to keep making money. It had like a $2 million drop this weekend. Wow. That's incredible. It's at 165.9. Look, if it makes another 6 or 7 million next weekend, a little after that, this could get to 180, maybe more. If it stays in theaters over several weekends, I think it'll get a boost over Thanksgiving if it stays that long. Just incredible numbers for a concert movie, for Taylor Swift, for the fans. This is a huge hit, one of the biggest surprises of the year. People will make the list. And surprised, not necessarily because, she has a huge fan base. Everybody has come out to the theaters to see this movie, but because this movie came out of nowhere. You're going to look at the list for the year when the year wraps up. Biggest box office surprises. Sound of Freedom is going to be on that list, and Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour is going to be on that list, and probably Oppenheimer as well because of the Barbenheimer factor. Did you see the story that they're making a movie called Barbenheimer? That's pretty interesting. In third this weekend, Killers of the Flower Moon. I gotta tell you, it did better this weekend than I thought it was gonna. Drop from 9 million to 7. That's not bad. It's up to $52.3 million, I believe. Yes, 52.3. Right behind another movie, Saw X, which got out of the top 10 this weekend, but added 1.1 million. It's at 52.5. And Saw X actually passes Jesus Revolution to become the second biggest Lionsgate movie of the year, only behind John Wick Chapter 4. Of course, though, Hunger Games is on the way, and I think Hunger Games is at least going to be the second biggest movie of the year. We'll see if it makes more money than John Wick Chapter 4 for Lionsgate. Then we've got Priscilla. Priscilla made $5.1 million this weekend in its wide release expansion. It was in just a handful of theaters last weekend, so it's up to $5.3 million. I like Priscilla a lot, as I wrote on Twitter the other night and saw it on Thursday. It's a very good film. It's absolutely Sofia Coppola's best since Lost in Translation. It is a series of snippets, memories, recollections that Priscilla has. It's all from her perspective. It's very interesting. Every scene is interesting. Every scene is very well acted. It's well edited. The casting is great. The 2 leads are fantastic. The music choices are really good. It's a little episodic. There are a lot of fades to black. If the one criticism I have of the movie is that it is a little episodic. But other than that, I was captivated in moments by Priscilla. You can feel the heartbreak, you can feel the emptiness, the hollowness, the loneliness, and it comes through even in scenes without as much dialogue. I think it's really well done. I hope this is a movie that young people see. It is rated R. You know, you got to be accompanied by somebody 17 or older if you're younger than 17. But I hope teens with parental guidance, or if you're over 17, teens and early 20-year-olds go to this movie, because I think it's the kind of movie that I think that demo will like and understand and appreciate from a cinematic point of view. I mean, you may have seen Elvis, the movie from Baz Luhrmann a year and a half ago, and the flashiness of it and the loudness of it, and Tom Hanks's showy performance and Austin Butler's performance and all the musical numbers and everything involved with that. And then you look at a movie like this that is quieter, that is more raw. I like this more than Elvis by a good amount. And I think it's a movie that young people who maybe are used to seeing big Marvel films or big flashy blockbusters, or who are just used to going to the horror movies week after week, sometimes with their phones on anyway, laughing and chatting with their friends, which they shouldn't be. You should be experiencing the movie. Maybe you go to this and you look at this and you go, oh wow, this is a movie that shows me what the power of movie making can do. This is a drama. This is a serious film. This has a lot to it. And maybe I have more of an appreciation for the art of movie making. This is what a drama can do. This is a movie for me, but this is a drama. This is not a silly horror movie. This is not a silly Marvel movie. This is a drama about two very interesting people living fascinating lives we thought we fully knew, but we get uncovered a little bit more here. And maybe I appreciate the movie-going experience and should take the movie-going experience more seriously and what movie making can do. Sofia Coppola, who obviously won the Academy Award for Lost in Translation 20 years ago, knows how to make a good, interesting movie with two leads. She did it 20 years ago and she does it again. You know, On the Rocks was kind of silly, and safe and just weak. And The Beguiled I was not a huge fan of. This movie has a lot of power. I think it's for young people to maybe respect the movie-going experience and respect the art of movie making more. This could open a lot of doors. I think this would be good for young people to see. Check out Priscilla if it's playing at a theater near you. Now, we had a bunch of movies that nearly tied. The Exorcist Believer added 2.2 million. It's at 63.2. After Death added 2 million. It's at 9 million. And Paw Patrol the Mighty Movie added 2 million. It's at 62. What Happens Later, the new rom-dram with Meg Ryan and David Duchovny, which I have a written review for at lights-camera-jackson.com. I was sort of with the movie for about a half hour. I thought, you know, the performances by these two are kind of embarrassing, but it's a little cutesy, it's a little fantasy escapist. I'm gonna go with it. It's a little clever in spots, I'm gonna go with it. I got sick of it after a half hour. It gets repetitive, it gets schmaltzy, it gets more ridiculous and embarrassing. There's a dance scene, oh my goodness. So, What Happens Later, unfortunately, is not a good film, and unfortunately for Bleecker Street and the studio involved, and for Meg Ryan and David Duchovny doing all this promotion, because they got the waiver, even with all the promotion, only made $1.6 million this weekend. That's not good. That is a flop, folks. Eesh. 1.3 million more for Freelance with John Cena. It's at 4.2. That's also a flop for Relativity. And I have to mention Radical, Eugenio Derbez's new movie that only playing right now in like 400 theaters, made $2.7 million this weekend. That's a very good per screen average. He's got a loyal following and has given some good performances over the years. He gives the best performance, I think, in Coda. And Radical did well and will probably expand to more theaters from Pantaleon this coming weekend. So Radical ends up in 5th place, a box office surprise for the weekend. Not that far behind Priscilla with $2.7 million. That is pretty good. Some other movies made a little bit of money. The Marsh King's Daughter, which I didn't see. Daisy Ridley, Ben Mendelsohn, made about $850,000. That's a flop as well. Gran Turismo got a re-release out of nowhere from Sony. Made about $400,000 this weekend. Oppenheimer added about $500,000. It got re-released this weekend from Universal. It's a Wonderful Knife opened. I didn't see that. I heard not very good things. And Anatomy of a Fall, which is very good. Powerful courtroom drama, added 600,000 this weekend. It's at $2 million bucks. And The Holdovers, which expanded to about 60 theaters, made $600,000. It's at 878,000. It will be expanding over the next several weekends into Thanksgiving. The Holdovers, let me tell you something. Paul Giamatti, role of a lifetime. He just knocks it out of the park. Any sports term you want to use, home run, touchdown, game winner, whatever you want to say, Paul Giamatti is incredible in this movie. He plays a professor. He is just, got to be nominated. If he's not nominated, I'm going to be so mad. I'm mad at the Academy every year for various reasons, but my God, he is so good in this movie. Alexander Payne, I thought Nebraska was my favorite of his. This may be my new favorite Alexander Payne movie. I'm not a huge fan of Sideways. Thought The Descendants was fantastic. George Clooney should have won the Oscar for that. I thought Nebraska was really, really good. Bruce Dern, Will Forte was amazing in that. Downsizing, this is, back to top form for Alexander Payne. You know who else is really good in this movie? The other two main actors, Divine Joy Randolph, got to be a supporting actress nominee. She's just perfect. The tone of her character and the way she delivers the dialogue throughout the whole movie, it is perfection. Also, Dominic Sessa, who plays the main young kid in the movie, first role ever, I guess. Really good. Just holds his own, confident on screen alongside, Paul Giamatti and Alexander Payne, who's been around a long time directing him. They found a good young actor in Dominic Sessa. Terrific. It has a lot of power to it. The time and place is great. The emotion is really good, and Giamatti's just so yeah, he's tremendous. So you got to go see The Holdovers. It is a movie I think that people are going to watch every year around Thanksgiving and Christmas time. It's on TV. It's on a streamer. It's on DVD. You put it on. It's really good. I've seen some good movies this week. Priscilla was excellent. Naiad, which is on Netflix right now with Annette Bening and Jodie Foster, that is very good. Annette Bening, favorite lead actress performance of the year. Kaylee Spaney is also really good in Priscilla. I give the edge as of now to Annette Bening with the full performance and what she had to go through to play Diana Naiad, the swimmer. Lot of effort into the swimming scenes and the acting scenes. Jodie Foster is terrific too. She should get nominated. Both of them should get nominated. Reese Ifans, also really good in a supporting role. Probably the best I've ever seen him. Naiad is great. Check it out on Netflix. Check out the Sylvester Stallone documentary, Sly. That's there now. And on the new Too Fast, Too Films episode, which is coming soon to toofast2films.com, Mike Sargent and I review Sly. We also review Rustin, starring Coleman Domingo, which is in select theaters right now and on Netflix November 17. Tonight is the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. And if you have not yet listened to my conversation with Brian Kelly, the co-EP of The Simpsons, go to lcj.podbean.com. It is a great chat about The Simpsons, some inside secrets about the show. Will there be a Simpsons movie 2? He gives me a semi-definitive answer. He tells me who the decision maker will be when it comes to Simpsons movie 2. We talk about the next Treehouse of Horror. We talk about what this one has. Kelsey Grammer's back as Sideshow Bob. It's tonight at 8 on Fox. And go to Podbean for my interview with Brian Kelly. This week in theaters is The Marvels. How will it do? Some people are saying it'll only make $50 million, and that'll be flop territory for Disney and Marvel. I don't know. I think it'll do more than that. We'll see how big it can get. Apparently, it's only an hour 45, so one of the relatively short Marvel movies. We'll see. Maybe shorter is better when it comes to the MCU, which has not been great lately. Also new on HBO and Max this weekend coming up is a new documentary called Albert Brooks, Defending My Life. I'm going to be checking it out this week, I believe. It's a new documentary on Albert Brooks, legendary actor and comedian. And maybe you went to see Trolls Band Together yesterday. There were nationwide pay preview screenings. Well, guess what? I've got a new LCJ Q&A podcast episode, an AnimationScoop.com Q&A tomorrow with Walt Dorn, the director of Trolls Band Together. We talk about the NSYNC reunion. We talk about many other aspects of Trolls Band Together, the new DreamWorks animated musical comedy. So get that tomorrow. It's a great, fun conversation with him. And last night I watched Leo, which is the new Adam Sandler animated movie that's going to be on Netflix November 21. But there are free preview screenings in select theaters nationwide, about 150, this Saturday and Sunday. So go to adamtickets.com because they've got the exclusives and see if it's playing near you and if you can get free passes. I believe the screenings are free, which is wild. Free passes to see these Leo screenings. And then I will have more for Animation Scoop and the LCJ Q&A coming at you soon. Then I'll have my thoughts on the movie. I'm embargoed at least on for a little while longer on sharing my thoughts on the film. All right. Well, when we're back here next time for LCJ Live, which will probably be Saturday, we will celebrate Veterans Day, the day I met Regis back in 2008. Wow. Yep, 15 years ago, this Saturday will be the day I met Regis. Wow. We will talk about that. We will talk about how The Marvels is doing at the box office, and we'll preview how Trolls, Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, and The Hunger Games will do at the box office the following weekend as we get underway on the holiday season and award season. For more, go to lights-camera-jackson.com. Twitter at LCJ Reviews. Instagram at LightsCamJackson. YouTube.com/LightsCameraJackson. If you're watching, thank you. Subscribe to the channel. Be notified. Turn on your notifications for when I go live for LCJ Live. And we'll have more coming at you this week. Thank you so much for watching LCJ Live. Have a good Sunday, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.